Okay, so when you think of Italy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably ancient ruins, incredible art, maybe some amazing food, right? And yeah, that's all true. But today, we're going to look past the Colosseum because behind that famous history, a surprisingly green future is being built, one that's actually turning Italy into a world leader in sustainability. And it all kicks off with one single, really powerful number. So what are you looking at? This is Italy's carbon intensity. Basically, it's how much carbon they emit for every dollar their economy produces. It's a super important metric for figuring out how efficient a country is. And Italy's number? It's almost a third lower than the G20 average. And get this, it's half that of the United States. For the second largest manufacturer in the entire EU, that is an unbelievably low number. So how on earth are they pulling? Well, it's kind of like a tale of two Italys. On one side, you've got the classic image we all know and love. But on the other side, there's this modern, innovative powerhouse that's building advanced electrical grids, tapping into geothermal power, and has basically mastered the circular economy. And in this explainer, we're diving deep into that second story, the one that shows how Italy is literally engineering a more sustainable future. All right, first up, let's talk power. Italy is completely rethinking its energy system. And I mean from the top down, from the massive national grid that connects the whole country, all the way down to the molecular level with a single artificial leaf that acts just like the real thing. Number 4. This right here tells you so much. According to the first ever Global Grids Index, Italy has the fourth most future-ready electrical grid in the entire world. Just let that sink in. That puts them ahead of countries like the US, the UK, and Japan. They are a true powerhouse when it comes to the infrastructure you need for a renewable future. So how'd they get there? Well, it really boils down to these three key pillars. First, they went digital early, rolling out smart meters across the whole country. Second, they're investing big in energy storage. We're talking a massive pipeline of huge batteries. And third, and this is so smart, they're building something called a hypergrid. Basically, all the sun is in the south, but the big factories are in the north. This grid is like a superhighway for electricity, moving all that clean energy right where it's needed most. And you know, this innovation isn't all just shiny new tech. It's built on a long history of using natural power. Take Tuscany, for example. For decades, they've been Europe's leader in geothermal energy. Today, over 30% of the region's electricity comes directly from the Earth's own heat. It just proves that this kind of thinking is baked into Italy's industrial DNA. And looking ahead, the ideas get even wilder. There's a startup called Green Independence that's developing an artificial leaf. But this is way more than just a solar panel. It's a whole system in one. First, it captures sunlight. Then it uses that energy to purify water. And finally, it combines that clean power and clean water to create green hydrogen fuel you can store. Just imagine one device that gives you clean energy, clean water, and clean fuel, all completely off-grid. Okay, so that's energy. Now let's switch gears to something Italy is an absolute master at, the circular revolution. This is where they've really figured out how to turn things we throw away into a strategic national resource. They've made recycling an art form. And the numbers? They really do speak for themselves. By 2025, Italy is on track to recycle over 75% of all its packaging. Now, that's not just a good number. That puts them at the very top in all of Europe, blowing past the EU targets. When you look at stuff like paper and steel, they're heading for over 80%, just turning trash right back into treasure. But we're not just talking about your kitchen recycling bin here. This is about tackling enormous environmental problems. A recent study found that most of the trash in Italy's seas comes from fishing, specifically from these abandoned ghost nets that just drift around for years, causing all sorts of harm. So, what do you do about it? Well, this is where it gets incredible. A project that involves 36 Italian universities isn't just cleaning up these nets, they're turning them into energy. And this right here shows you the impact. Just 1 single kilogram of that recycled plastic can power an apartment for a whole day. I mean, talk about turning a problem completely on its head. And the ingenuity just keeps on coming. In Imola, they have Europe's first plant that can recycle carbon fiber, that super strong stuff everyone thought was unrecyclable. Down in Tuscany, a facility is literally mining for gold, silver, and copper inside old circuit boards. And my favorite, a startup is growing packaging out of mushroom roots as a biodegradable and fireproof alternative to styrofoam. Now, all of this amazing technology isn't just happening in a lab. It's being put to work in the real world to protect and restore Italy's legendary natural beauty, from the highest alpine peaks all the way down to the depths of the Mediterranean Sea. Did you know that off the coast of Italy, there are over 80 massive underwater mountains? Most people don't. But a groundbreaking national mission is now mapping these hidden ecosystems for the very first time. And they're not just looking. The whole point is to actively restore critical habitats, like oyster reefs, which are absolutely vital for the health of the ocean. Back on dry land, what's really interesting is how different regions are driving this green transition. In 2023, it was the industrial north that was leading the charge on new renewable energy. Lombardy, the country's economic engine, was installing green power at more than double the national average. It's the perfect proof that you can have a strong economy and clean energy at the same time. But then, if you look at agriculture, the story completely flips. Here, it's the central and southern regions that are absolutely dominating. Tuscany, Calabria, Sicily. These places have dedicated over a third of their farmland to organic practices. This is all being fueled by a huge shift from consumers who want local, sustainable food. It's a market now worth €6.5 billion. So what's the big lesson here? Is Italy's success all about big government projects and huge corporate labs? Not at all. It really seems like the secret ingredient is the human element, that classic Italian ingenuity you see running through the whole society.
We're talking about powerful, grassroots innovation. Here's a perfect example. A group of high schoolers, from Foligno, invented this thing called the Recover Solar Cover. It's a phone case made from recycled nylon that has a little solar panel on it to charge your phone. And they didn't just have an idea, they built a whole marketing plan for it. That's the spirit of innovation in action.
And that, right there, is the heart of Italy's success. It isn't just one thing. It's this powerful blend of high-tech industrial strategy, strong regional leaders who are pushing things like renewables or organic farming, and this incredible bottom-up ingenuity from local communities. It's a complete, multi-layered approach that all works together. So I'll just leave you with this question. Italy is a country that's celebrated around the world for preserving its ancient past. And yet, as we've seen, it is relentlessly focused on building a sustainable future. If they can balance that heritage with this kind of radical innovation so well, what lessons can the rest of us take from their green revolution?